Okay. I think we're live. It is 6 p.m. and welcome to Hey Dee Podcast with me, Dee Dorina, here in Denver, Colorado. This is my first live and I'm so excited. Whoever joins me, thank you so much and thank you for your support. Today, our guest is going to be Sylvia Lamb with Sylvia Lamb PR here in Denver, Colorado. And she's going to be speaking about Justina Ford's 150th birthday celebration. And she'll be able to explain to you more about Justina Ford. She is the first African American physician here in Denver, Colorado. So I will have her come on now and we'll be able to speak to Sylvia Lamb. Hi, Sylvia. You froze up on me. Can you see me or hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. Oh, I love your top.
Hi, thank you. Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Very happy to join you on your inaugural show.
Thank you.
I'm glad I'm at the very first. I like to be the first for lots of things.
Yeah, you're the first. The first. Number one is always the best.
Oh, it is indeed. That's what I tell myself.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard my announcement. Like I said, this is my first time using this stream. So I just want to touch bases with you. So you're going to be speaking of Justina Ford, the first African-American physician here in Denver, Colorado. First, I just want to ask you a couple questions about what you've done. I know you started or had a proclamation done for Justina Ford, and it's going to be every year on her birthday.
Yes, that's so exciting. It's really interesting is that in England, we don't have anything like proclamation. And so this was all new to me. I was at a committee planning meeting and they said, oh, they're thinking about getting a proclamation. I wondered, is that a really big deal? What does that mean? And they got one for the mayor. And I thought, you know what, let's see if we can get one from the governor. Because, she's the first African-American female licensed doctor in Colorado. And so I just went on their website, Governor Office's website, and there's a form you can fill in, and the person you nominate has to have a strong link to Colorado. So I thought, perfect. And so I filled out the form, and you wait for a few weeks before if you get a response. And then I got an email saying, yes, your proclamation is ready, and they can send a PDF and they can send you 5 hard copies that you don't have to pay for. I thought, oh, that's all exciting. So it came through, and I was very excited about that. And then because I'm also obtaining birthday greetings for Dr. Justina Ford's tribute, the program she's doing, the tribute that we're doing to honor her on Friday. And I say we, I mean myself and the Black American West Museum. Right. And one of the birthday greetings is a school. And a school I found out from a friend of mine is being built, and it's going to be named this year Dr. Justina Ford Elementary School.
Oh, and where's the school going to be? The location?
It's going to be in Littleton. And so I got hold of the principal. I'll get to the point. It makes sense anyway. So I got hold of the principal a couple of months ago, and I said, "Oh, this is so exciting! Could you give me a birthday greeting?" She said, "Yeah, she would love to do that." And because basically that name was chosen out of 2 names, and it went to a vote in their district, and Dr. Justina Ford's name was chosen to be the name of this new school that's currently under construction. Anyway, so she'd sent me a birthday greeting. It was really sweet and everything. Anyway, she got back to me. She said, "Oh, Sylvia, this proclamation, is it for this year or is it for more than 1 year?" And I thought, I don't know. So I went back to the governor's office, and the governor's office said, "Oh, well, it's for 1 year. And if you want it more than 1 year, you can do one of 2 things." One of them was apply every year for a proclamation. And I thought, that seems a bit onerous. And the other one, she said, okay, I can redo the one I have and just put on the end forevermore. And I thought, and she goes, and that means every year on the 22nd of January is going to be Dr. Justina Ford year. And I thought, yes, I'll take that one.
Well, that's great. How did that make you feel? That's a big accomplishment.
Oh, it's great. You know what I like about it is the fact that I didn't even know what a proclamation was before I came here. So that was all.
Recognized every single year, all because of you.
Yes. And I think it's something, and I think it should have some kind of meaning. For me, when I think of Dr. Justina Ford and thinking of a day that is dedicated to her, that marks her and recognizes her achievements, it's about people stopping to think, what is your dream? Are there any obstacles that you're putting in the way of your dream? Are you putting yourself in the way of your dream? How badly do you want this? What is your vocation? Right. Maybe to stop and think about that. And think about Dr. Justina Ford being denied access to hospitals because she was Black and she was a woman, and membership to the Colorado Medical Society and the Denver Medical Society. She circumvented that. She said, okay, you're not going to give me this, but I can make this happen for myself. Right. So she set up practice in her home.
And then can you tell me more? It is amazing. Can you tell me more about how they turned her down and different things like that to try to be a physician in some of the hospitals here in Colorado?
Yeah, so she's from Knoxville, Illinois, and she graduated at Herring Medical College in Chicago in homeopathy. and she had license to practice there. She spent a short time in Alabama as well, and she had a license there. She was married, and her husband, Mr. Ford, he was a pastor, and he was called to pastor, I think that's the term, is that term, in Zion Baptist Church in Denver. Called to minister, that's it, in Zion Baptist Church, which is the oldest black church this side of the Rockies, I believe. Anyway, so he was called to minister. So he came first, and then in 1902 she followed him, and so and she was the first lady of Zion Baptist Church, which is quite sweet. Anyway, so she went to get her license, and she got the license. However, the person who gave her the license said, "I can give you this, and and it's $5, but you won't be able to do anything with it because you're black and you're a woman. You've got 2 strikes against you." But she took it anyway. But it's right. She went to these medical societies, and they refused her membership because she was black and she was a woman. And the significance of not being a member is that she couldn't work on staff in any of the hospitals. And so that was it. She had a license to practice medicine, but she was not able to get a job in any of the hospitals. And so I think it was Denver General was the main hospital at the time, and she wasn't able to work there. And so she decided to set up practice in her home, and so a home on Arapahoe Street, and that was in 1911.
So that's something else, because to me, it's like there were so many of us, male and female, who tried to do so many things for our own people in our own community, and how we were stopped. And she didn't, she just kept pushing, she just kept going, and she put it in her home. So can you tell me about the museum and her home, and when it was, because I know it's all one in one. It was her home, and then it became.
It's interesting because now I'm speaking to you about her home and about Dr. Justina Ford. Is that I used to volunteer at the Black American West Museum, and for the guests that come in, that you learn a script about Dr. Justina Ford, about her being able to speak 8 to 11 different national languages and dialects, and she served 37 different nationalities in the 5 Points area, which was very multicultural at that time. And so her so her home was where people used to come, because she was also not only an obstetrician, she was also a general practitioner, and a pediatrician, and but she used to go to people's homes to deliver babies. And so I don't know if you know that she delivered over 7,000 babies, and that's the quote about her impact in actually birthing a 5 Points district in Denver. And yeah, exactly. She's just amazing. Anyway, so what happens then? So she in 1949 she writes a letter, which is going to be displayed in the program on Friday at noon, the live stream. Actual handwritten letter that she wrote to Colorado Medical Society in 1949, which was like 50 years after she'd been denied, saying, "I've delivered 7,000 babies." That's how we know, because she wrote that. And she says, I want to be a member. And so the next year they gave her her membership. However, in 1952, at the age of 81, she died. However, this is what it is. She actually still achieved her dream. It might have been a couple of years before she died, but she decided she could have said, "Yeah, those people are terrible, they're racist, they're whatever." But she wanted to be a member. She wanted to be a member, and she achieved that. And that is something about not being bitter. Anyway, so her house was, she died, and her husband lived in the house for a short time, and the house was sold. And part of my research is that I found a gentleman whose father and grandfather had actually bought the house at the time. And the house was empty for a very, very long time, for many, many, many years, until and it wasn't in touch. However, the father in 1984 was approached by a developer and said they want to have that land, and members of the community because a lot of the houses along that way were being torn down.
Right, right.
And members of the community got in contact with a councilman and said the house is going to be torn down. So they got a reprieve. The councilman and people in the community went down to the house and actually stopped a wrecking ball, which was actually there, ready to knock the house down. Yeah, exactly.
And so when things are historical here, they're not allowed to tear them down, which was surprising that I read that they were trying to destroy the home.
Yeah, because it wasn't recognized at that time as of being of historical significance. However, what was interesting when I spoke to this gentleman, and he was telling me, there's different people have different aspects to the story, but it's basically the same. But what he did say is that in the house, they found a black medical bag.
Wow.
And different equipment that she used for the whole, because nobody lived in the house. They had the house, but no one had moved in. And so they gave a lot of that stuff to the Black American West Museum. And so when the house, it was a historic Denver as well, were part, they had to raise money because the developer said, you know what, I don't want the house, I just want the land. If you can move the house, you can have it. And so they had to get money together. And the house in 1984, it was on the 6th of February, part of my research, that the house was physically lifted off its foundation, put on wheels, on a flatbed, on wheels. And during the night, it was wheeled, it was driven rather to its current location in 31st and California. And on the program, I managed to get some archive footage of the house actually being moved. And I've never seen that before. It's really exciting. And on the side of the house, it says,
I can't wait to Ford. You guys got to see this program. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. So you actually, I need you to tell me more about, I know they did a mural. I remember that they did a mural on the wall over on 26 in Welton on the U.S. Bank building. Can you tell me more about that and the Justina Ford babies?
Oh, yes. I mean, for me, you know, there's her house, there's her medical bag, there's the letter that she wrote, which is part of her legacy. But her real legacy is the people that she delivered. And I'm well into human interest stories. And I think, you know, I think I generally am, but also because I'm a PR consultant, whenever you're pitching a story, they always want a person, a real person, a human interest angle. And so I decided, actually what happened was when I was volunteering at the museum, it was a Friday, and this gentleman came in. He was just a white guy to me, you know, was in a suit, looked smart. And he says, and he comes in, he comes around the back of he doesn't come through the front, he comes around the back, and he comes in with what seemed like his wife. And then he approaches the desk and he says, is this Dr. Justina Ford's home? I was told it was. And we said, yes, this is her home. It's now the Black American West. And he says, yeah. And he goes, oh, I want to show you something. And he gets out his birth certificate, and it's got Dr. Justina Ford's signature on it. And he goes, she delivered me. And it was just so moving. And he was so moved. He was so moved. He was in tears. He was in tears. And so it was like royalty coming to visit on this day.
right.
It brought her house to life. It brought her house to life because this is what
born.
Yeah, that's it. It was just amazing. And he goes, oh, my family lived on California Street. That's where the house is now. But they said yes, and you know, my mother was you know, she was a patient of Dr. Ford, and he says, oh, my sister helped Dr. Ford deliver me. And I said, wow, that's amazing. So he's starting telling all these, and these are just amazing stories. So anyway, being the consummate PR professional, I thought, I'm going to take down his details because I know this is golden. This is golden. I'm going to need it at some point.
Right,
Human interest story.
You did, right.
And and then there was a competition for the museum. They were shortlisted of 1 of 20 historical sites to win $150,000, and it was I think there was 20 sites, but the top 10 with the most votes would get 150,000 in order to restore the house. And the house that did need restoration. The brickwork was peeling, and the windows needed replacing because they were letting in moisture in the collections. Blah 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 blah. Right. And so part of trying to get some publicity in order to get people to vote, they had an open house, and I thought this is a perfect opportunity to try and get some more Ford babies. So I would use him for the media. Yeah, use him for the media and go on Facebook. And I only had a couple of weeks. And so I went on Facebook and said, anybody delivered by Dr. Justina Ford, get in contact with me, blah, blah, blah. And they had a small flurry of people getting in contact. And so I had 4 people that said they will go to the open house. And then this one woman said, she goes, yeah, Dr. Ford delivered me, she goes, oh, and she says, oh, my mum. And she goes, my mum, yeah, she would love to speak to you. And I said, thinking, what do you mean your mum would like to speak to me? Because she's like in her 70s. And I'm thinking, what do you mean your mum? And she says, oh no, my mum would tell you all about Dr. Justina Ford.
So the mother was still living.
And I said, oh, pardon, sorry, I didn't catch that.
The mother was still living.
Yeah. And because you know what it is, I had to again and again try and just really understand it. But anyway, she goes, oh no, she's in Arkansas, I think, at the moment, but she says she can't come to the open house. I can come and I meet her at the open house with another 3 or 4. And we had this. It was nice to meet them, and I said to her, she goes, "Yeah, no, my mum, she loves the limelight." Wow.
Was she in her 90s?
She goes, but she's away at the moment.
Was her mother in her 90s? If you said this woman was already of age, her mother
was in her 80s. Anyway, hold on. I'm telling you the story. It's a good story. Anyway. So then it has the mural coming up. And so I've got even more time, got more lead time. And so I've got this handful. I'll use them in the media. And so I will actually say, with this one, I think this is a great opportunity to have a photo shoot. I'll get more Ford babies, and so we can get them all together. That would be great. And so I was on TV, did different kind of, interviews, calling out for Ford babies. And then this woman, her name was Charlene Mosey. She says, yeah, my mom, she's in town now. And yeah, she would love to do an interview. And I said, okay. And so I linked her up with the Denverite, the reporter called Donna Bryson, and she said, yeah, she goes, yeah, my mum, she'll do an interview. So I met her mum. Wow. Her mum's wearing these nearly thigh-high boots, red jacket.
Wow.
Looking like the business.
Right.
Sharp as a tack. She was 14 when she had twins that were delivered by Dr. Ford.
You said she was 14? Wow. That is amazing. I mean, I remember watching you on Facebook when you started all of this, and look where it's come. What has it been, a year and a half? When you started from the voting, trying to win the money, and then now look where you are. You got a proclamation. You've gotten the show that's coming up, the virtual on Friday.
Live stream tribute.
Right, for your tribute. You have done an amazing job. I'm proud of you. So, I mean, the museum should be
bless you.
So happy to have you there. There's not many people who even work for museums. You don't get paid for them. It's volunteer work, and you just go out of your above and beyond and go out of your way to do this, Sylvia. It's amazing. It's amazing.
How could I not? Look at this woman. Look at her. If she can do that,
Right.
And why we need to uplift these people. I mean, she is a truly an inspiration. And if I could, it's interesting because she was an outsider. She was from Illinois, Knoxville, Illinois, and she came and she made an impact in Denver. And if I could do half of what she has achieved in any way of making an impact, of being able to make a difference coming from London,
Right.
I will feel that I feel I owe it to her and her legacy and her memory, to do the best, because I believe in her so much, and it's a professional passion as well, because it uses my public relations skills, it uses my because I'm a journalist by trade, and so I'm able to edit and put together a program, because I know what, and I can get I can communicate. I've got communication skills. I can get people to speak to me. I know how to get case studies like the Ford babies, and I can know how to put that into a story. And so I don't know. There's something that I feel that it's a calling in a strange way. I think it's only recently that I've realized that
you're good at it, though. You're good at it.
It's a passion. You know what it is? You're good at what you're passionate about.
Yeah, you are.
And I think, and no matter what, and I think that's what it is with Dr. Justina Ford. She talks about, she did an interview, only one interview in 1950 for the Negro Digest. And she talks, it's the only interview. And she talked, and it's a humility. It's humility. Maybe I need to learn some of that myself. But anyway, it's her humility. Right. So she says, there was a woman. She came to her house, and she says, I need to pay you. And she goes, you delivered my daughter 13 years ago, and I never paid you, so this is the payment. And she goes, I've forgotten all about her. But some people will be sending the bailiffs to get that money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because she just accepted, because a lot of the people, because it was the underserved, the disenfranchised, the immigrants who didn't have much money, who didn't have insurance. And so a lot of the time they couldn't actually pay her. So they might pay her in goods and services, in fruits and vegetables. They used to, even sometimes I was speaking to a pediatrician. Her name was Renee Cousins, and she said the difference between a pediatrician and just a surgical doctor is a pediatrician has an holistic welfare approach to health. And so she couldn't go to tend to a child who was ill and then see the family's hungry. And so she would give money to her nephew, say, go to the shop and get them some food.
Oh, bless her heart. Wow. Yeah. And imagine how many people today as physicians would do something like that.
Yeah.
Not very many at all.
That's it.
So they moved the home, and that was what, in 1984, and then it did get restored. Did it? Yeah,
it got restored. And sorry,
when was it restored?
It was actually it was opened officially as the new home of the Black American West Museum in September 1988. So it took a few years in order to get it up to scratch and to renovate it. And since then, that is the home of the Black American West Museum.
And then can you tell me about the room that's in there that's dedicated to her?
Oh, yeah. So in the room, yes, I should have said that for the doctor. So if you walk on the ground floor, you call it the first floor. We call it the ground floor in England. So on the first floor, when you walk in, there is a display of and a reproduction of her examining room. And so there's an examining bed, there's her original bag, there's her equipment that she had, all laid out there, the chair, and also the little kind of medical bottles that she used as well. I said, and there was his name was Gerald Radatsky, was the man who father and grandfather had bought the house. And he said that was all found in the basement. And he goes, there was just loads of those, medical bottles. And so, yeah, so if you to go, the museum actually is closed at the moment because it's being restored because it won the money of the 150,000.
Yeah.
And it's being
it's
being restored.
Yeah, great. Yes.
Oh yes. That was my foray into a social media campaign, and it was. Oh, that was exciting. It was so, because it just kept getting traction and just more and more people, and I think it's when I was at your hairdresser's, hairdressing establishment, that I was speaking to another customer and client, you call them, sorry, not customer, client. We were talking and I said, oh yeah, there was, I was working on, and she goes, oh yes, I voted every day. And it was
it's like people recognize you, and when you said it, they actually remember it. It's so funny how social media is so widespread. You walk in there and they're like, oh, I remember that. I saw that on Facebook. You'd be surprised how many people came in there and actually talked about it. And I was like, I know her.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Okay, so
wow, that's great. Oh, bless you.
Can you tell everybody, Sylvia, about the mural that they put on the wall and where it's at?
Oh, that was I remember that day so well. It was moving. So anyway, so I got this campaign, and I managed to. got a spreadsheet of names of about 50 Ford babies, and about 40 of them turned up. Over 40 turned up to be in this picture. And we know what I liked about it? It was a reflection of what 5 Points was back in the day. It was multicultural. You had Black people, Hispanic people, all different creeds and colors. And my thing was, these people could pass each other on the street and not realize they're connected by this one woman, that they were delivered by her.
Wow.
And so the mural was, as I say, it's by a US bank, and it was actually commissioned by Connect for Health Colorado, and it was painted by I can't remember where he's from. I think he's from California. His name's Matt Sansing, who did it, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful picture of her, and it was. Yes, and on that day as well, the mayor spoke, and he gave a golden challenge coin in recognition of Dr. Ford. But it was just lovely when they were all there. They're all chatting together. They all brought their birth certificates, because I think they felt they needed to prove that they were actually a Ford baby. They said, "Oh, I'll bring it. I'll bring." I said, "I don't want to say don't bring it, because I thought it would be interesting to see anyway." But I'm not questioning you. You are. You haven't got your birth certificate. You're not coming in. Purity.
And so a lot of them were in their 80s and 90s. A lot of the
there was 80s or even younger than that. There was one woman. I keep looking at the picture. She doesn't look. She's the same age as me, unless I look like, kind of old, because she looks so young. Because she was going up to go up to the picture. I said, "No, this is for Ford babies." She goes, "I'm a Ford baby." I thought, that's me told. Right. I thought, wow, that's me.
So then,
anyway,
I also read that they nicknamed her Lady Doctor. I think that's what a lot of people called her. At least that's what they called her, Lady Doctor.
Yeah, they did. Lady Doctor and Baby Doctor. There were two names that they called her. And it was interesting when I spoke to, on that day, there were, as I say, there was quite a few Hispanics came out in full force, and they would say, yes, my mother used to call, and they said it in Spanish, Lady Doctor, Dr. Ford, and Lady Doctor. I don't know I don't speak Spanish, but that was just, it was lovely that they because to say she could speak between 8 and 11 different languages and dialects, so she could communicate with her patients. And that is it. That is, I just think it's beautiful, because it's not about because that is another way of connecting with people. If you can actually learn their language, and make them feel at home and make them feel comfortable, not make them feel on edge,
Right.
especially if you're having a baby or there's issues going on. Yeah.
I think I'm losing you. Are you there?
Okay. I'm here. Yeah, no, I'm here.
It's connected. Okay, so I remember at one point we spoke about them not wanting her or turning her down for work. And then now in the recent times, didn't somebody do an apology letter or something for her from that hospital?
Oh yeah. So when I was getting, so it was Denver Medical Society. I'd reached out to, I had long list of people that I decided I'd like to ask to have birthday greetings. So there's the Council of Colorado Black Nurses, there's Black Health Collaborative, there's the mayor, the governor. I've even got a Denver Broncos player who's given a birthday greeting. As well, the Senator Bennett's given a birthday greeting. So as I'm busy just kind of editing all that together, and so it was, and I thought I'm going to reach out to Colorado Medical Society and Denver Medical Society, because I'd like them to give a birthday greeting. And it's the Denver Medical Society, during their birthday greeting, they said they were sorry for the way that she was treated, and they even donated money to the event as well. As a show of contrition, and an apology. And so I felt that was really touching, and also being able to reach out to all the people that have sent in their birthday greetings. It's how they feel inspired. There's a Dr. Justina Ford STEM Institute that is for young Black girls. And they gave me, and the girls gave me a birthday greeting as well, and they were really excited, which was really nice. And they're standing outside a bronze statue, which is outside the museum, and they say, "Yeah, happy birthday, Dr. Ford. We're inspired by you." Young regular Black girls.
Well, it's funny because she's gone, and her legacy, everything still lives on. But you have actually brought her back to life again, Sylvia.
You know what I think? I think the baton has been passed to me, because over the years there have been people. There's been a lady. She gave me a birthday greeting. Her name is Kristen Adele. She did a reenactment of in 2009 of Dr. Justina Ford. There's been a play called Ain't No Grave about Dr. Justina Ford. There's been a PBS program directed by Donnie Betts, the filmmaker. So I think the baton is, because I think in every way, people using their skills have forwarded her, maintained and preserved her legacy. I think because of my skills as a public relations and giving a voice to the voiceless, I'm boosting brands, magnifying messages, and amplifying awareness. Right. I'm using these skills in order to uplift her in that way. Yeah. So at the moment, I've got this baton, or this torch, this Olympic torch that's flaming really bright at the moment. I don't know who I'm passing it on to, but there will be somebody else.
Well, I can't wait to see what you do next with your Lamb PR. I think it's going to be amazing. You're amazing, especially being from the UK. You're not even from this part of, you're not even from here. You're not from Denver, Colorado. And for you to go out of your way in a community that you didn't even belong to find more information about this woman. And I'm sure there's many other people that a lot of people have actually forgotten about. So it says a lot about you, and I want to thank you. And I'm not.
Yeah, I do. I know you're not local either in that way. I know. I think if I was to pick my next person, if you were to ask me, the next icon, it would be Hattie McDaniels.
Oh,
the in Gone with the Wind. because she went to East High School,
Right.
and what she achieved, and I believe there's currently well, I went to a meeting and someone saying that, they would like to have a museum dedicated to her, and also to talk about her connection with Douglas Fairbanks,
Right.
who helped her because he went to East High School, and in Denver. So, if I was to pick somebody, if on my wish list, if I had a wish list, she would definitely be on my wish. Yeah.
So I just want to, I'm going to read this off really quick, some information that I looked up about just different African-American people. Not that people forgot about them, but a lot of times we just don't talk about African-American people and African-American women who have done so much in the world. So we have Shirley Chisholm, and I know a lot of people remember Shirley Chisholm. I'm just going to touch on them quickly. She was the first Black to serve in Congress in 1968. The first Black woman to attempt to even run for.
Oh, yeah, that program, isn't she? In that, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, okay.
And then there's Althea Gibson. A lot of people don't know about her in the 1950s. She was a 15-year-old tennis player. And she broke the color barriers for African-American people to, if it's not for her, Venus Williams, Serena, and all of them would not even be able to play tennis. She was the first.
My wish list is getting longer. My wish list is getting longer.
Right. She was the first African-American woman to play for Wimbledon.
Oh, wow.
And then there was Charlotte Ray, who was the first Black African-American lawyer in the United States.
Oh, you've got some good first. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Right.
Oh, really good.
And then some that we all know about, which was Harriet Tubman. We all know she escaped slavery, and then she returned 20 times to save 300 slaves. So we all know about
selfless. I love the selflessness of it.
And that was in the 1849, 1850, I believe. And then there's Rosa Parks. We all know who she is.
Yeah. Her name's made it across the pond. Her name's made it across the pond.
I don't think we have to tell you guys about Rosa Parks. And then there's Dorothy Height. She was in 1963, but she was a godmother. They called her the godmother of the woman movement. And I remember her. I remember her face. I actually remember she used to wear hats. And then there is Marian Anderson, who was a singer in 1920s, and she was invited to the White House by Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Oh, cool.
So Black women have actually been an important part of the United States and contribute a lot throughout history, but people just not recognize Black people. They don't recognize African American women. So I want to thank you.
Oh, thank you
for recognizing Justina Ford. And is there anything else that you'd like to say about the program when it starts? I'll put the flyer up again.
So it's on Friday. It's a mixture. There's, as I say, I am producing the pre-recorded segment of it, which is giving a bit of an overview with the birthday greetings and a bit about her life. And then there's either side of that, there's going to be some actual live elements, and it's actually going to be taking place at Zion Baptist Church. And we've got there's the pastor who's going to be saying a prayer. There's I believe there's Tony Exum. Is going to be yeah, I know, we like him. It's going to be playing, and there's going to be a dancer, there's a poet, so there's lots of party entertainment as well. So and that starts at 12 noon MST, and you can catch that if you go directly to the Black American Museum website. Also, you can get, if you go on Land PR, you can go, it'll be live streamed via there as well. And if you on the TV and you've got Comcast, Denver Community Channel 56, 57 and 881 HD as well. So so it's it's a multimedia affair.
Right, great. Like I said, and you did it right. And if you guys must research Sylvia, her name is Lambe, Lamb, not lamb like the animal.
Yeah, exactly.
If you guys are looking for her, I will put the flyer up again after we sign off. But I want to thank you so much, Sylvia, for joining me. And hopefully you can join me again sometime. We can sit here on the sofa and just do.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I was going to come, but I'm just so under the cosh with preparing for Friday. But yeah, it's not the last you're seeing of me, darling. Not the last you're seeing of me.
Thank goodness for internet, right? Right? Thank goodness.
Thank you so much.
So I just want to let you guys know that on February 8th, Monday, February 8th, we'll be doing an hour with licensed professional counselor and women's empowerment coach, Marquita Myrick. So if you guys can join me for that, it's going to be great. She's great. And I will keep posting constantly about Marquita Myrick and send a reminder so people will know to join. And it's going to be more about depression in women, not just African-American women, but there are a lot of people that are sad. And a lot of people need to talk about it. And that's why people are sad. They don't have anybody to talk to or anywhere to go. So we're going to talk to her about that. And she's going to explain to people, maybe she can give people some things to do to help them feel better. But that'll be Marquita Myrick on February 8th. Again, licensed professional counselor and women's empowerment coach. I will post again, like I said, Sylvia Lamb's flyer for Friday, January 22nd. And everybody have a great day. You are amazing. You are strong. You are beautiful. And every day is a new start. Thank you so much for joining me, Sylvia. I love you.
Thank you. Love you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I'm blessed. Thank you. Take care, sweetheart. Okay, bye-bye.